Hi everyone. We are glad you are tuning in with us to hear what we learned in Sunday school on Sunday. The last couple weeks we have been learning about Sarah and Abraham. Last week we talked about Sarah and Abraham and their nephew Lot and how they trusted God and moved to a new place. And when they got to that new place, there was not enough grass and food and water to feed all their animals together. So Abraham and Lot had to split up in that new land and going to go different ways and settle in different parts of the land so that there was enough food and water for their animals. And this week we're going to keep talking about Sarah and Abraham and the birth of their son Isaac. God promised Abraham and Sarah that they would have a big family, but many years had passed and they still did not have a child. Sarah was too old to have a baby. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but remember a couple of weeks ago, I talked about how old they were, and Sarah was 90. She was age 90, and Abraham was 99. So that's how old they were when I say Sarah was too old to have a baby. Abraham was outside one day when he saw 3 visitors coming toward them. Abraham welcomed the visitors. He ran to Sarah and asked her to make bread for the visitors to eat. Sarah made the bread. Abraham sat with the 3 visitors while they ate. Sarah stood inside the tent listening to the men. "Next year, your wife Sarah will have a son," said one of the men. Sarah laughed. She was too old to have a baby. But 1 year later, Sarah gave birth to a baby boy. Sarah and Abraham named the baby Isaac. The name Isaac means he laughs. "Now I am laughing with joy," Sarah said happily. "I have a son." God kept his promise. Isaac was the beginning of Abraham and Sarah's big family. How do you guys think Sarah felt when she gave birth to baby Isaac? She probably had a lot of different feelings. She was probably so happy to now have a baby because she always wanted one, but thought she was too old. She was probably amazed that God kept his promise because he had been promising her that she would have a baby, and she didn't think it was going to happen, but it did. God kept his promise. Baby Isaac was the start of a big family for Abraham and Sarah. How do you feel when someone makes you a promise? Sometimes do you wonder, are you really going to keep that promise? You're probably pretty excited because usually promises are pretty nice. And then how do you feel when that person actually keeps their promise? You're probably pretty happy. It makes you feel good and then it makes you trust that person, right? Because if they made a promise and they kept it, that usually means you can trust that person. So if they make you another promise in the future, you probably know that they're going to keep it again. What makes you guys trust people? Think of people in your life and what makes you trust those people? Like your parents. What about your parents makes you trust them? They probably help you if you get hurt and make you feel better, or they give you food to eat so that you aren't hungry, and probably make sure you take baths and get clean clothes so that you're clean. How about your teachers? Do you trust your teachers? And if you do, why? What makes you trust them or not trust them? How about police officers? Do you trust them? How about your friends' parents? Do you trust them? And if so, why or why not? How about strangers? Do you trust strangers? And if not, why? How come? Sometimes it can be hard to trust people, right? Until we get to know them. And we've been learning about how Sarah and Abraham trusted God. And at the end, he kept his promise. He kept his promises. So as you go through your week, think about why you don't trust people, and how you feel when people keep their promises. And just remember, God always keeps his promises. Let's review our Bible verse. Look up at the sky and count the stars. This is how many children you will have. Genesis 15, verse 5. Let's say that again. Look up at the sky and count the stars. This is how many children you will have. That's from Genesis, which is the first book in the Bible, chapter 15, verse 5. So if you have your own Bible, you can try to find that verse, Genesis chapter 15, verse 5. Let's say it one more time together. Can you guys say it with me? You can say it really loud or really soft. Maybe spin in a circle or jump up and down while you say it. Ready? Look up at the sky and count the stars. This is how many children you will have. All right, we are going to pray. You guys pray with me? Dear God, thank you for always keeping your promises. Show us that we can always trust you. Amen. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to hear what we learned about. We hope we see you Sunday, but if not, tune back in to see what we learned about this coming Sunday. Have a good week, guys. God loves you.